All right, first and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Also, peace, salutations to you fellow laborers, continuing in his legacy of pushing out this word, which was handed down by Yahweh Shai. All right, so I want to just get into, the hardships we deal with being in this truth. All right, catching all sorts of hell, whether it's physical infirmities, dealing with your health, your family, you not participating in family functions, such as Mother's Day, and your name being cast out as evil, all right, and all sorts of manner of evil being spoken of you. Well, guess what? That's the conditions of this battle, all right, which a lot of men can deal with, who's henceforth, have drew back and basically went AWOL. And even in, Esau's military, for you to go AWOL or abandon, the troops, that's a dishonorable discharge, man. All right. And this video is not to bash, the guys that fell out, because we all know through the spirit that they never really believed in this thing. It's their lot, all right, to not continue on with us. This is more so going to be a lesson, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, to strengthen the brothers that's continuing to fight, in this battle, all right? So I want to get into the scriptures. First, let me start off in the Apocrypha, the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, and starting at verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Yeah, so this pretty much the Heavenly Father asking you, if you looking to enlist in his army, well, there's certain stipulations that's going to come along with that, all right? And you got to prepare yourself for it, and that's temptations. And as you read on, we'll find out what those temptations are. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble. Yeah, because a lot of guys, when they saw trouble on the horizon, they made haste, They abandoned the Heavenly Father. They abandoned the mission. They aborted the mission. All right, you got certain men that came in and everything was fine, but then when they started seeing certain troubles on the horizon, they said, yo, the hell with this, man. I need to, go get a job or, go to school and get a trade and put this truth on the back burner. All right, that's a example of making haste. Verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Yeah, 'cause see, you might come into this truth and everything might be going good. You might have money and, you might be on a certain level, but once you get, grounded in this truth, you're going to fall off, man. All right? You're going to fall to a lower state. And guess what? That's the conditions that come along in this battle, which you got to embrace that. All right? Matter of fact, let me grab some real quick. This is the book of Luke, chapter 14. And starting at verse 26, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And whosoever doeth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. That's right. So you got to embrace the hell that you got to deal with, which those are the stipulations that come with being in his truth. All right? You can't be in the truth and worry about your mom or your brother or your sisters. They can't come before doing the work. All right? Because when you go to, just say the white man's military and they might ship you off, let's just say Iraq, all right? And you see a guy get his head blowed off, all right? You can't bug out and say, well, I want to go home because that comes along with the war. And that's no different than being in this truth, all right? Because a lot of guys who come into this truth, the apostles warned you, man, all right? And also whatever, outlet or avenue you came in the truth. You might have followed another brother ahead of another camp. You know, you might have came in through another camp, but through the spirit, the brothers warn you. They let you know that you're going to catch hell, all right? It's well documented that this road is not easy. So when you come into this war, what this is, you got to know that this is war, man. You're not going to go out to Iraq or Afghanistan and expect everything to be, smooth sailing and expect not to see bloodshed. So when you come into the truth, you got to expect that you're going to catch hell, all right? Expect that you're not going to be embraced by your family. And a lot of guys can't deal with that, It might be camp day and your kids might have graduation, all right? And you choose to go to graduation because you don't want to rattle the cage, so to speak. But the scriptures tell you that, you're going to be hated, all right? Your foes will be those of your household, all right? So really, it'd be the Heavenly Father setting up certain scenarios to test you and see if you really equipped to be one of his soldiers, all right? When you go into the times of Gideon, when the Heavenly Father chose the 300 men, he said, bring them down to the lake, and whoever lapped the water with their hands, all right? And opposed to the guys who kneel down, they drink the water. Okay, well, that was the Heavenly Father. Hey, the scripture tells you, many are called, but few are chosen. And even Esau say that in his so-called military, a few good men. And that's what the Heavenly Father does, all right? Matter of fact, what that is, I think that's, let me see real quick, the book of Psalms. I think that's Psalms either 92. Nah. Let me check. I think that's Psalm 94. Right. This is Psalm 94 and 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Yes, so that's the Heavenly Father actually recruiting soldiers. He's asking, who's going to go to war for me, man? All right? And there was a lot of men who raised their hand and said, I'll go, But they agreed to come to this war, but they didn't, agree with the stipulations. All right? They didn't acknowledge the fact that there's conditions that come along with this war, man. Just like any war you fight, there's going to be certain conditions of the battle, and you got to deal with it. All right. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 4. No man that warreth entangle himself with the affairs of this life. Yeah, so that's another thing. A lot of guys come into this war, all right, and they entangle themselves with what's going on back in the world. When that happens, you get your head blowed off, all right? There's plenty of war movies that illustrate that, movie come to mind, I think that's Dead Presidents, where you had Chris Tucker and the guy Lorenz Tate was letting them know, look, man, fuck the world, fuck my girl, fuck my old lady. I got a war to fight, all right? If I want to go back and see them, I got to concentrate on this war, all right? And that's the thing, being in this truth. When you come into this truth, it's a battle. And with every battle, there are certain conditions, all right? Reading on, it says that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. That's right. So the Heavenly Father recruited you in because it was through the Spirit that you came in. For all the guys who took their hand off the plow, or even guys that's getting weary. Look, the Lord recruited you, man. And it's up to you to please him, not please your woman, not please your mother, because you got Mother's Day coming up this weekend, and there's going to be a lot of guys that claim to be in the truth, all right, which is nothing wrong with, going to see your mom, But really, in reality, your spirit shouldn't be geared to that, man. All right, you should really detest that, Because you got to please Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. And it's not good to even gamble, all right? Because it's not, really just written in stone that, on Mother's Day you can't see your mother. But when you spiritual, you got to be able to extrapolate what's going on, all right? You got to be able to reason and know that this is a demonic day, man. This is a day that's set up to uplift the woman, man, all right? You could go see your mom a day before that or some shit like that, all right? But, not making this video about that, it's just not getting entangled with the affairs of this world, because we soldiers, man. And this battle, it just don't go on Saturdays when you go out to camp or whatever respectful day you might go out. That's not the only time the battle is fought. This battle is fought all during the week, every hour to hour. We at war, man. So you can't take a break and go back off into the world, all right, just to suffice your family. You got to understand you at war, and you got to please the one that enlisted you in this war, man. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this lesson was edifying. Until the next time I say shalom.